Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woolly Mastadon Creates Podcast, episode 51. My name is Toria Victoria, Mastermind Behind the Crazy. Thank you for joining me today. Before we jump into today's episode, you can find me in a few places on the interwebs. You can find me as Tori Schaffner on Instagram. I am going to be most active there. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie, L-A-L-Westie. You can find me on the blog. Show notes are always going to be there, woolymastodon.wordpress.com. I am on Facebook. I'm just not as active there. And of course, you can find me here on YouTube. With that, we'll jump into the episode today. You'll notice again I missed an episode last weekend. I think this might occasionally turn into every 3-week podcast because I'm not cranking out as much stuff to make it interesting. And what's the point of filming an episode if I don't have anything to completely show you? So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, as it cools down a little bit and fingers crossed our AC behaves, I'll be able to knit a little bit more. So we will see here. But let's see. Today is, so look at my calendar, at my phone and everywhere, July 31st. It is the last day of July, which is absolutely crazy. It's bonkers. I don't know how we're this far through July, but we are. So I guess there's that. So it is the end of July. Tomorrow is August. Still summer, but getting to later summer, which feels so weird to say. It's been warm here. It cooled down yesterday. Yay! And today. So I think we might be out of the 90s for a few days. But before we just chat about weather, which you don't need to know about, southern Wisconsin weather. I'm looking at my pile of stuff. I don't have any FOs today, but I do have a few works in progress. What's in here? This is very heavy and I don't know why. I don't remember what I put in here. My first work in progress is one you would have seen. They're all going to be things you have seen in the past. However, this is a little farther than it was last time. So if you remember from last episode, I am knitting a sweater. I'm knitting the Pink Velvet by Andrea Mowry. Is this the front or the back? Oh, neither. And it is a colorwork sweater, top-down sweater, and it suggests that you hold a strand of mohair for your colorwork, which I didn't do, and then you knit the body in fingering weight yarn. Well, what I did is I'm knitting this out of Knit Picks Poseidon, and the teal color is Knit Picks Hawthorn. I'm going to keep doing that. The teal color is Poseidon, and then this like limey green color is Cattail. And as you might be able to see, I have finished the colorwork section. I maybe knit it a little tight. It may pucker a little bit once it's blocked, but we'll see, because the blocking will definitely make all the difference. I just completely knocked my show notes down. Put those up there. The blocking will make all the difference. So I don't know if you'll really be able to see right now the pattern that we're working with, but maybe if I do it this way so there's no glare. I don't know. But this is the pattern we're looking at. It's all the way around the yoke of the sweater. I did start knitting the body. I have a lot of stuff going on down here because I got a little creative, and I've seen a lot of people do this online where they'll knit the sleeves first before they knit the body, because then you can use as much yarn as you want and make it as long as possible, and you don't have to worry about playing yarn chicken on the sleeves later on. So I'm doing that. I have knit one sleeve to completion. It is the perfect length. I'm super excited about it. I've got all my stitch markers. This is the first time I did this where I kind of marked repeats. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. With a whole bunch of stitch markers, or marked decreases. And I actually did more decreases than the pattern suggested because I didn't want the sleeves to like super balloon once they got to my wrist. And I made it a little longer than they suggested. But I have the first sleeve knit. I've got to knit the second sleeve here, and then I will go back to the body and finish up knitting the body, and it won't matter. At the moment, I've got it on I have it on 2 knitting needles with the sole purpose of then I can easily try the sweater on without having the needles pop out, because I can't just have a tiny knitting needle on there and try it on. I'm too big around for that. So I have 2 knitting needles that I've just left in the body of the sweater. I have needle stoppers so that the stitches don't fall off. And then I didn't even disconnect the yarn. I put the yarn in a plastic bag and safety pinned it to the cable in a spot where it wouldn't push the needles off, so that I didn't even have to break the yarn on the body when I started the sleeves, because I have more yarn here. I don't know. Here's one. This is Knit Picks Poseidon. I have 2 skeins I'm alternating off of for the sleeves, and then once the sleeves are done, I still have another full skein. This was the cattail that I used for the contrasting color. I thought about using contrasting color in the cuffs. The pattern doesn't call for it, but then I decided against it, so I just went with the straight color. But this is coming along quite well. Since you last saw it, I only had I was in the end of the colorwork section, and now I'm completely done with the colorwork section and have knit a full sleeve. So this is coming along nicely. Definitely been wanting to knit on this a little more. The sleeves take a little more brain power because of the decreases, but not much, to be honest. And then it's just stockinette for the body until the end. So this was kind of turned into a don't have to think about a project, which is great because then I can work on it a little bit more. Although the color work was really, really fun and I didn't want to put it down. So, but that's my first work in progress. I'm knitting these on a US 3.25 millimeter needle, and the ribbing is being done, well, the upper ribbing I did on US 2. On the sleeves, I decided to go down to a US 1. So 2.25, I believe, and that was the call. That was the call. I might do that again on the ribbing on the base of the sweater too, because I'm such a loose knitter that I need to go down quite a few needle sizes, and one needle size just wasn't enough. I'm kind of sad I didn't do that on the neckline, but that's okay. It'll still look good. So, first work in progress. I've by far done the most work on that. Second work in progress, I'm just going to show because this is almost all I've been working on. I have put a little work on my socks for Dad. I started working on those again at work. I've put the string in for the heel, but I was almost there anyway since I last showed it, so I've only done a few rows on that, so it wasn't really worth showing. I did put quite a bit of work in my granny striped blanket. And this is a little more exciting for me because I did cake up that new magic cake of yarn, and I know I showed this last time, but I'm just excited because I'm finally into, I'm starting to work on between leftovers and mini skeins that I purchased. And I actually put quite a few rows in this. I think I put in 4 or 5 rows this week. So I've put a few rows into this already, but this is all I have left of this magic cake, and then I need to make more, and that would be a problem, except I have some things in stash enhancement, so it's not going to be a problem anymore. Because I'm starting to use up all my yarn. All my scraps, I should say. But this is not a mini skein, I don't think. Yeah, no, this is not part of a mini skein right now that's on the outside. This is leftovers. But I have put parts of a mini skein in the most recent stripes, so it's kind of exciting to see. And since I last podcasted, this is actually how far I've gotten, so I think I'll actually move that up now, because I've done quite a few rows since you last saw it. Actually, yeah. 10 rows since you last saw it. I think I can officially move the stitch marker up because that's actually quite a bit. I just can't help but not share this because when it is a little cooler and I can knit on this, or crochet on this I should say, this is crocheted, this is all I want to work on because it's so cozy, and Midnight wants to cuddle up on it because it's so cozy. It's getting long. Like, it's actually enough that if I sit here with it on my lap, it kind of covers my legs. My feet are still sticking out. But it's getting long, guys. I am so excited. It's very heavy, which I love. It's going to be very warm and very heavy, just because it's wool yarn and it's crocheted. Crocheted takes a lot more yardage than knitting, but I love it, and I've just been loving this project. So if you have scraps, or it's not for the faint of heart, because obviously the care on this, it's gonna have to be hand washed in a bathtub, which is fine. I'll just throw it in the bathtub with some soak every once in a while and we'll call it a day. But the care on this is not going to be easy, but I love it and I think it'll be worth it. This is crocheted on a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, but on fingering weight yarn. But you've seen this 8,000 times and I just can't stop showing it. And part of that reason is because I bought more yarn to put in it as I drop the bag 24/7. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But this is actually my only other work in progress at the moment. I've been working on this. I did crochet a couple squares for my granny square blanket, and I'm really going to have to get on that to get the rest of those crocheted so I can finish that up in the last half of this year. Because that's supposed to be a Christmas present for somebody. But yeah, I need to finish that up. That has kind of been on the back burner because I haven't wanted to crochet granny squares, but I've been wanting to crochet granny stripes, so I don't know. It's just the mood I'm in. Let me see. So that's all my works in progress. Sorry for the crinkle. I thought I'd keep the crinkle from happening by removing the yarn out of the bags, and then I'm just dropping stuff on the bags anyway. I don't have any spinning FOs, but I do have a spinning work in progress. I think I showed you guys my last spinning FO, which is sitting up here, so, you know, pretty sure we've seen this already. This was, yeah, we did, because I was comparing yarn weights. So this is the last thing I spun on my wheel. I really need to take that and put that away. But I was bringing my drop spindle to work. I only stopped doing that this week, but I was spinning quite a bit at work. And I've gotten quite a bit further. This is a Snyder spindle, Snyder Turkish spindle. And I'm using Chameleon, Colorworks, Dyeworks, and Fiber Studio. I don't know if they exist anymore. This was some fiber I got at like a community arts yarn sale from the Community Arts Center up in Hancock, Michigan, when I was still volunteering there. But I did put quite a bit of work on here. I don't know if you can tell from last time. It's kind of hard to tell, but I've put quite a bit of yardage on this. There's quite a bit more yarn. I've pretty much almost finished up the teal chunk of yarn in my roving, and that teal chunk was really long. I've got a lot of roving that I get. Like, this is a long haul. People at work were like, why are you spinning this way? I'm like, this is for the process. This isn't for the final product. I mean, it'll be cool to have the final product someday, but that final product will not be coming for a long time. Maybe I'll bring this on trips this summer. We'll see. But the final product is not about the yarn right now. It's just about the process and enjoying the process. And actually at work, this was a really great thing to do on breaks and lunches, because it was almost it was like it helped you just concentrate on something and calm down. I didn't have to think too much about it, kind of like knitting, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just really enjoying working on this. But I worked on this at work for a bit. I kind of put this away. I might work on it at home if Midnight is sleeping, but I'm kind of limited to her being in the I don't care mode rather than the I want to play mode, because this isn't good for cats if they want to play. But yeah, I've got a ton of fiber left, a ton of roving. It's a full braid. Haven't even considered splitting it in half to spin it, so that's kind of my error. I didn't think about that at the beginning. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of roving. Eventually I will probably just divide it up into balls and ply it together, but we'll see once I actually get some finished and wind it off. But that is my spinning work in progress. I actually, like I said, I worked on that the past couple of weeks. I didn't work on it this week at all, but I've really been enjoying it. And this is actually a project bag I got off Amazon. So I figure I might as well talk about it. It's got like the feeder holes to feed yarn. It's got a front pocket, which I don't really use for this. But the reason why I'm using it for spinning is because the inside of the bag has this like slippy lining, and fiber doesn't stick to it. It's just a striped lining, but fiber doesn't stick to it. So I thought it'd be perfect for my drop spindling, because it's big enough to hold everything with plenty of space. It's actually a little big, but that's what I wanted because I don't want to break anything. And it also, the fiber doesn't stick to it. So that's been super great. If you drop spindle, get it off Amazon. It's totally worth it. It's not expensive. Was it $10 maybe? It was really cheap. But with that, let's move on. I don't have any other spinning, don't have any other knitting that I've been really actively working on, but I do have some stash enhancements. And I'm so happy to finally talk about these. because now I can put them into my basket full of minis. I just have this Target basket, and I've chucked all the mini skeins I've purchased in here. There's still like bands and stuff in here, but I've chucked all the mini skeins I've purchased and haven't used in here. So this would have been the stuff I got earlier in the year from Ruby and Rose's Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations, but it's all been in here. Well, you know, I've been crocheting a lot on that blanket and realizing I need to actually purchase yarn on this every once in a while rather than just purchasing stash yarn. I should purchase minis every once in a while, so I can actually continue working on my blanket. And July is Harry Potter's birth month, for those of you who are Harry Potter fans. And a few of the yarn companies that I follow make Harry Potter yarn colorways, but they're normally exclusive colorways. They only do them for clubs, or they only do them certain times of the year. A Homespun House did one, but she was releasing full skeins of yarn. I don't think she had any minis, and it was one of those things, she's in Germany, so it would have been a little more of an investment to get it over here. Not a lot, I've learned, but you know, an investment, and I'm impatient. But Ruby and Rose's yarn, she also released her entire Harry Potter collection. And she also released it in 2 sets of mini skeins. So there's Harry Potter mini skein 1 and mini skein set 2. I'm actually not sure which one is which because they just say mini skein sets, but I got both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 14 mini skeins in total. There were 14 Harry Potter colorways thus far. And she put them into 2 mini skein sets, and I thought this would be absolutely perfect. I don't really know which one is what color, but they looked beautiful, and I'm like, they're technically Harry Potter themed, so I just love it anyway. So this is all the colors. These are all 20-gram minis. Mini skeins are kind of expensive because they're more labor intensive than full yarn, and indie yarn is expensive anyway, so this was a bit of a treat this summer. But I'm super happy. This yarn is so ridiculously soft. It is so soft. And these colors are so pretty. And I haven't pulled them out of the wrappers yet because I wanted to show them on the podcast. And now that I have, I can pull them out of the wrappers and look at them and put them in my basket so I can use them in blankets. But you'll notice that she does a lot more pink. And my blanket just don't always have a lot more pink, but I'm kind of into these pink colors. And I'm also going to just intersperse them more with my other scraps and everything that are less pink. But I don't know. I don't use as much pink, but I'm okay with the pink in the blanket. So this is a good way to get some pink in the blanket because I'm not necessarily going to knit myself like a full-on pink garment or something like that other than maybe socks. So this is a really good way to get that into the blanket without knitting a full sweater. So very happy with these. Very, very happy with these. Excited to have these in my stash. And these are all 20-gram minis. The last set I got from her was 10-gram minis, and there were 10-gram minis or something like that. So it was still, you know, a lot of yarn. But I kind of like the 20-gram minis because haven't been using a full, like I don't put a full mini skein in my Magic Knot Ball. I just put in a partial so that I can kind of get the color divided up a little bit more similar to scraps. So those can now go in my basket, and in fact once I unwrap these, this basket will be full, and maybe that should be my benchmark for when I don't need more minis. If this basket is full of minis, I don't need to buy any more. And I also know I have that advent calendar coming at Christmas. But anyway, that was my only stash enhancements. I do have a few non-knit loves, and they're very specific, and one of them is this sweatshirt. And I don't know if you'll be able to read it. House on the Rock. It's so cool. It's like teal and white variegated, and then one sleeve has like different symbols down it. But needless to say, we went down to House on the Rock this week, and we brought my dad, and it was so much fun. We got there early, so this is actually kind of going to be, we're just going to be into life lately because it all connects. But we got there when they opened at 9. We parked right by the entrance. Never in my life have I parked this close to House on the Rock. But we parked right by the entrance steps. And like, it was not busy at all. It was getting busier when we left. Like when we left, the parking lot was packed. But when we got there, it was not busy yet, and we got the carousel room to ourselves for like a solid 10 minutes before other people showed up. Like, no one was in the carousel room but us. That has never happened before in my entire life. I have never been in there and been able to get a photo of the carousel with no one in front of it. And to just enjoy the carousel with no one in front of it. It was amazing. But anyway, I love House on the Rock, needless to say. But we went there. It was super fun. We spent so much time there. Enjoyed every bit of it. Highly recommend, if you ever are in the area, southern Wisconsin, go to House on the Rock. It is great. I don't know, I actually had a coworker ask, would it be great for really little kids? I don't know if it'd be great for really little kids. They might get bored at the end. I don't know. I don't have kids myself, so I'm not a super good gauge. But it was super fun. And I went there as a kid, but I don't think I was really little when we went either. It's been a long time. I don't remember. But I just remember liking it. So, I don't know. But House on the Rock, super fun. Highly recommend it. Spended so much time there. And of course, I know we went in 2018. My husband and I went. It was my first time my husband had been there. But I had gotten 2 shirts. And I got a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt. And this time, I wasn't going to get a hoodie, but... And it's not my normal neon. But the way they did the print, it's like a white to turquoise fade. And I was like, okay, this is coming home with me. We also got a couple mugs. We got a few things. My husband got a few other things. But I wanted to show... He got this mug, which is super cool. And it's just a lime green. And I was actually looking at this one. Because it's just a basic, black mug. But then I saw this one. So obviously I had to get the largest carousel in the world mug. And it's so cool. It's got like some of the carousel horses on it. So I love it. I think it's really cool. And it's a little bigger. So I can drink more. Like, I'm thinking of, making a chai tea latte today since it's not 90 degrees and just drinking it out of this mug because it's a little taller, But normally this wouldn't be my style, but this was very unique. And it has the carousel creatures on it. And I should say carousel creatures because these aren't all horses, obviously. And, yeah, I'm very happy with it. So... My dad got the shorter one of this, but I got the tall one because, yeah. So I'm very happy with that. My husband actually got a little teddy bear too. I should have brought it in, but I didn't. And it's so cute. It's got a House of the Rock hoodie on it, and it's so cute. I can't. It's so cute. But yeah, we had so much fun. It was so much fun to actually go and see House on the Rock, and I've been there. I think this is my 4th time going now. It's still great. When I was there, I was like so excited. I'm like, we need to do this every summer. I don't even care. If we live this close to House on the Rock, it's like an hour away from our house. We need to go every summer. And I'm not even joking. I will not get bored of it. I will go every summer. It's so much fun. But yeah, it was super fun. It was a really fun day. I took one day off this week from work. It was just super fun. So totally recommend it if you're in the area. It's so much fun. Other than that, let me see. Actually, I need to go get something. I'll be right back. I forgot it. And we're back. Since I went, hello, we're back. Since I went to go get my other stuff, I figured I'd show you the teddy because he's so adorable. And his shirt says the House on the Rock. Oh, it's so cute. The House on the Rock. But yeah, he's super cute. And he's in our living room right now. But I had gone to the store because I needed a few things. We don't actually eat like normal breakfast in this household because my husband leaves the house at he leaves the house at 5:30 every morning, and I get up around 5:30, 5:45. So we don't really have breakfasts. We just get what we want, like cereal or whatever. But since my dad was going to be here, I needed to get breakfast things. And I was in Kroger, and Kroger had very inexpensive fiddly figs. So I bought one. I've never had a fiddle leaf fig. I don't know how this will go because I've never had one. But the thing is, I figured since these were pretty cheap and this one looked really good, I picked one of the nicer ones out of the batch, and this actually looks really nice. I figured since I got it super cheap, since these can be very, very finicky, at least if I kill it, it wasn't like a $50 plant. It was far less than that. So yeah, I got a fiddle leaf fig. My husband cried when he saw me bring it through the door. He was like, "You don't need any more plants." And then at House on the Rock, we were in the section where they have all the doll houses, and I was picking out all the little plants in the doll houses and being like, "See, they have plants too." But yeah, I got a fiddle leaf fig. I need to research a little bit more on how to take care of this because this looks pretty good and I want to keep it that way, and I want to grow it into a nice big plant. It fits on my plant shelf right now. I understand that that's probably not the best place for it, but I'm trying it for now because also at a certain point it won't fit there anymore. These get big if you take care of them right. And I don't know if I'm going to take care of it right. We'll see. If you have any suggestions for how to take care of fiddle leaf figs properly, let me know, because super excited about this, but want to keep it alive. So that is that. That was also kind of like a nice life lately thing. My husband now cries when I bring plants home because I also had started 4 spider plants and repotted those this last week as well. So there are plants everywhere at this point, which makes me happy. I want a jungle. He doesn't want a jungle. So we have to balance this with how many plants can I actually get on the patio, or not on the patio. I mean, there's a ton of plants on the patio, don't get me wrong. But how many plants can I get on my plant shelf and actually get more plants? So I want to go to our local nursery in Stoughton. I haven't done that yet because I'm just like, I know I'm going to buy something and I just can't do that right now. I have so many plants. So yeah, let me see. I am wearing this hoodie, which kind of gives an indicator. Our AC is working for now. It was a long thing. The guy came back. He wasn't going to come back. He told our apartment complex that the unit was fixed, even though it wasn't. And then he came back, he did something, and then he said, well, there's no leak anymore and you need to run your unit. And we're like, well, we're not running our unit because there was a leak and it wasn't working. So, I don't know. It's working right now. I don't know for how long. I'm really enjoying the fact that it's working because it means that I want to knit and crochet on things because it's not 90 degrees in here. Well, it never gets it. Thankfully, with a small AC unit, it's not 90 degrees. It's more like in the upper 70s or sometimes 80s. But it keeps it out of the 90s in here, which is what matters. But hopefully I'll get more making done just because it's not really hot in here. We'll see how long it lasts. Fingers crossed. Who knows? She stopped recording. Clearly I've been talking too much. So with that, AC is working. Not really sure that there's anything to talk about if it's talking your ear off. So at this point, I think I'm just going to say thanks for watching this episode. If you liked it, please like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends on the internet, comment below. We'd love to grow this little community. Again, you can find me on Instagram as Tori Schaffner. I'm going to be most active there. You can find me on Ravelry as lilwestie. You can find show notes on the blog at woolymastodon.wordpress.com. You can find me on Facebook. I'm just not as active there. Of course, you can find me here on YouTube. But with that, I hope you have a wonderful few weeks, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye!